think it's the fault of my parents, you know, who raised us to the concept of stewardship, that those who are born with more things, more attributes, and with more better education, good health, are supposed to give at least part of that back to society. And I think that's the way our parents raised us, and that's why all of us, all my siblings, are in a way similar.
I think those of us who are fortunate in terms of health, education, means, should be able to share it with others.
My brother's an engineer. My younger sister is a PhD in biochemistry. Other sister is a science graduate teacher.
Well, actually, he didn't resign. He was allowed to retire. As you know, in the government, servants who want to stand for election, they got to leave the jobs. But in his particular case, the Ministry of Health allowed him to retire. And of course, we were happy for him, because his focus was about changing society, helping people. Was there for many years before 1999. In fact, it goes back to even in his school days. He was involved in one kind or another, in some kind of activity in the community. Well, he, I think, was very happy doing what he was doing. I'm not sure whether you want to equate happy life with lots of money, flashy cars, swimming pool in your house. I mean, if that's the criteria of happiness, then we had different criteria of happiness. I think he was very happy what he was doing.
In 1998, when we first put in for registration, we formed the party because we felt there's a need for a group to put forward the needs and the problems of the ordinary Malaysians who are sometimes marginalized by the process of development. We were working mainly in the time in the estate sector, and all the development, when people were getting retrenched with so little compensation, no proper housing, coming into squatter areas. Then they stay in squatter areas, the Penderoka Bandar, and then after a few years, when that area is being developed, again they just chased out. So we just saw that development in Malaysia is so one-sided, and people were being, kind of marginalized. At the same time, we saw privatization, medical services, for example, and the impact. So we became the Socialist Party, not because of some theory, not that we went and studied communism and said, hey, it's a good idea, but because we saw what was happening on the ground, and we said there's a need now for a party to put forward consistently all the problems of the marginalized groups, whatever their race, And then we found, as you're putting these things forward, that actually it comes under socialism. Socialism is how do you reorder the wealth of society so it's more fairly distributed. Why they went for us like this, I think they needed a group to catch and then use us as an example to scare everyone else. But obviously it's backfired, and that's one thing. I'm not sure. But see, what actually scared me about them is that they seem to be no respecters of the truth, They're just going, like, for example, weapons on the bus. Then that we are planning to attack the Agong. I mean, just totally, ballistic, ballistic, completely out of the question, We really, really owe it, not because of PSM's own strength, It's because there's so many layers of Malaysian society, came in and expressed support and said this is ridiculous. I think we are lucky that, that we have so many friends outside, friends we didn't know we had such friends, who maybe saw PSM's work over the last 10, 15 years, to know that, all this is untrue. Well, we see ourselves as team players, to build a better Malaysia. I think a lot of actors, we have a part to play, and we'll work with other groups,
Any specific issues that you guys will push?
Oh, we're talking of, we don't want the GST, for example, the labor law amendments, I think, are bad. The FTA, we're negotiating with Europe and America, not good. Healthcare privatization is not good. Privatization of tertiary education is, there's so many issues, and we will work with other groups, on these kind of issues.
Rutin doktor 28 hari dalam stock up. Rutin. Orang tahu dia makan berapa kali, makan apa, tidur berapa jam, interrogate berapa jam satu hari?
Okey, rutinnya dia akan bagi breakfast lebih kurang pukul 7.30. Satu ban dengan TO. Lepas breakfast, lepas mungkin setengah jam ke sejam, dia bawa kita ke bilik medical assistant. Di sana mereka hari-hari mereka check kita punya BP, bagi ubat-ubat kita. Lepas tu bawa balik kepada, tapi tiap kali kita keluar ni kena pakai blindfold lah, tak nampak. Gari,
Keluar daripada
sel keluar, gari, blindfold. Every day. So bila jalan pergi tu klinik pun you tak nampak you pergi ke mana. Masuk klinik baru buka. They check you, pakai balik ke bilik. Lepas tu you punya IO akan datang lah. Mungkin datang 9.30, kadang-kadang 10.30, kadang-kadang 11, kadang-kadang tak datang pagi, hari datang petang. Itu pun you tak tahu lah. Bila dia datang ke, tak datang ke, you tak tahu. Tiba-tiba kadang-kadang 2 kali, pagi dan petang. Lepas pukul 1 dia bawa balik ke sel, bagi you makan. Makanan okey lah, ada cukup makan, nasi ayam ikan. Nasi berani dah buka, nasi putih. Dia bagi makan. Lepas tu pukul 2, 2.30 dia bawa balik kepada IO lah. Sampai 5.30, 6 dia kena bawa balik lah. So actually kita daripada segi tidak dipukul, makanan dibagi. Kita dibagi sabun, kita dibagi toothbrush. Itu adalah kebebasan saya dirampas selama 35 hari tanpa satu sebab. Dalam satu perkara, saya rasa polis kita dia cukup cekap. Dalam 3-4 hari mereka cek kita, sudah tahu kita bukan satu ancaman pada keselamatan negara. They should have known within 3-4 days. Tak perlu simpan kita begitu lama. You know? Dan itulah yang takutkan saya. Saya takut dia akan mencipta cerita macam itu cerita Agong, saya nak lawan Agong. Macam cerita kita simpan senjata dalam bas. Macam cerita saya ini penggerak bersih. Ini semua ciptaan, you know. There's no basis. So we were scared. Mereka akan pakai isu-isu macam itu, kaitkan lagi story tadi. Kerana bila kita bagi kita punya statement pada polis, macam tanya saya, you pergi luar negara ke mana? So, saya pernah pergi ke Senegal, World Social Forum. Saya pernah pergi ke Australia, World Socialist Alliance Australia. Saya takut dia akan pakai ini semua. Saras pergi ke Vietnam, Communist Party of Vietnam, Communist Party of Senegal. Macam itu, cipta satu. I think they were going for that. Itu ketakutan saya. Frame us up. Because macam itu, macam lawan Agong, 122. Daripada mana dia dapat itu? Katakan saya penggerak bersih. Penggerak, macam organizer bersih. How can? Memang I support bersih lah. Tapi saya rasa Malaysia, berapa persen population support bersih? Tapi dia katakan saya penggerak bersih. You know, teman katakan saya simpan senjata dalam bas. So it's just wild allegations, you know. Yang liar, yang luar. You know. So I was very scared. Mereka akan cipta pakai itu dan kagumkan Malaysia, katakan tengok ini ada komplot komunis dalam PSM. Nasib baik kita polis ini sudah tangkap mereka. You know. I takut satu takut. Saya takut dia akan macam itu ciptakan satu cerita, lepas tu pakai cerita tangkap lain orang daripada parti, mungkin you know cancel parti punya registration, you know, takut itu. Saya risau dia akan simpan kita 2 tahun lepas itu. Saya memang banyak stres, you know. So apa ke cara kita? Lagipun kita tak boleh contact orang luar, tak boleh macam dapat masa jumpa lawyer 15 minit. Setengah masa itu lawyer lawan dengan polis. Jangan tuan, jangan ambil gambar. Mana boleh cakap lawyer lawan dengan polis, you cakap lawyer. Ayo. You know, it's very crazy, you know. You got to stay, you got to keep together. Macam petang-petang buat exercise sikit, you know. So, macam jika jumpa IO, you go through lah all the questions he ask, what are they trying to go for, you know, where they getting towards. Dan jika boring, think back of a book. Satu buku you sudah baca, ingat balik itu buku, cerita dia long hours, you know. Katakan tak dalam sel saja. Buku tak mau bagi. I minta mereka bagi saya Bible at least. Saya baca Bible. Itu pun dia minta bagi. I minta okey tak apa, Bible tak apa, bagi Quran pun okey. I boleh baca. Itu pun tak mau bagi. Tak bagi. So it's the boredom sekarang. Kadang-kadang duduk sana boring. Itu pun satu yang big problem.
Doktor pernah lapar Selalu puasa.
Tak selalu, tapi 2 hari yang last saya puasa.
Memang sebelum ni ada experience
Tak,
puasa ada.
tak pernah. Huh? Oh yes, once they let us go makan.
Apa first food yang you makan?
Itu dekat polis yang lepaskan kita, dia bagi kita karipap dan tea, I sudah minum situ. Kena sudah pening sikit, so I thought better I break the fast lah. Actually, even the last election, we didn't think we would win. We thought we will narrow the margin, and that itself would be a moral victory. You know, sometimes it's necessary to make a stand, even though you're not going to win. You know, so we were actually quite surprised. The last 2-3 days, we saw the swing, and we were saying, "Hey, maybe this time we can make it." You know, but not to the last 3 days. You know, I think it was a seat that is not easy to win, but I think a confluence of factors. I think one was Hindraf, the other was a general swing of the Malaysian public, and the third was the fact that we had put in work for 12 years there. You know, steady work, every week we were there, I had a good team there, you know. So I think all these factors came together. It was a lucky win.
But you're sure you will have it next general election?
We'll be standing. Whether we're going to win, I really cannot say, you know, because I mean the thing is the BN makes it difficult for us. Like I get no funds, so I'm not sure how many people are going to be unhappy, you know, because with Samivelu they got money, schools got money, the temples got money, the mosque got money, all the associations got money. I haven't been able to give that kind of money, you see. So I'm not sure how the people will decide on those kind of things. But people must decide, isn't it? It's democracy. So let's see.
Are you going to highlight the fact that detention without trial under the ISA or under the EO is completely against human rights, to which our government subscribes? You may tell them that?